and it changes them. At least it was supposed to. And we might say to ourselves, but I haven't seen a tabernacle. I haven't seen a temple lately. I haven't seen a cloud coming down lately. I haven't seen the glory of God coming down. Oh, but you have. You know, in John chapter 1, the very first few paragraphs of John's gospel, do you know what John says? He says, the Word, he's talking about Jesus, the Word became flesh and dwelled among us, is how our English translations put it. You know what the word they're using is, it tabernacled among us. It came down and pitched its tent in our midst. You see, Jesus is the glory of God. Jesus is the fullness of God's glory, and He has come to us. If you want to see God's glory, you simply look at Jesus. And there you see God's majesty, His holiness, His righteousness, His mercy. And then you think back to all that black box stuff, all that long list of stuff that you know that you've done, and even the stuff that you don't even know that you've done. And then you understand that because of Jesus, all that stuff is gone. It's gone. It's taken away. God gives us Jesus, not just to be the glory of God in our midst, but actually to be the offering, to be the sacrifice. Jesus came not just to show us God's glory, but to become the offering that would be put on the altar, that would give His life to deal with our sin. Look at verses 4 and 5. You read that the priest was to lay his hand on the head of the burnt offering, and it will be accepted on his behalf to make atonement for him. Ultimately, that's what God does for us in Jesus. Now ask yourself a question. Why did the priest have to lay the hand on the animal? Or why did the person bringing the offering have to lay his hand on the offering? He had to do that every single time. It wasn't just sort of, farewell kind of thing. It was much, much more than that. You lay your hand on that animal and you're really saying, this animal represents me. This animal stands in my place. This sheep, this cow, this goat, this bull, this now stands in my place. And this offering will be brought before the Lord, and it will give its life for me. And all the blessings that sacrifice gains come to me. The only way you gain the blessings of the offering was by putting your hand on it and identifying with it. You know, it's the same thing for us. I don't expect you to go home and put your hands on an animal. But when the Bible talks about faith, that's really what it's saying. Faith is really our way of putting our hands on Jesus and saying, Jesus, stand in my place. Jesus instead of me. My sin goes on to Jesus, and all the benefits of the offering of Christ come to me. Faith is being able to see God's glory at the cross. It's being able to look at Calvary and say, because of me, He is there. And for me, He is there. That's the heart of faith. If you say that in your heart, you are receiving the benefits of what Christ has done. That's the essence of faith.